Heifer, or in typo manner, Heifer, a Creepypasta by Rockhead 1989. There once was a 90-year-old named Krista who was kidnapped by Geneva, a hidden company involved in several humane and unethical experiments. Her genetic code was used to create thousands of clones that were referred to as Heifers. Given the new proposed for being livestock, they were kept in minimal space and poor living conditions. Each were subject to cruel and harsh genetic engineering experiments. The records stating the proposed were saying experiments were lost. The first subject, Krista, was labeled 001, dehumanizing the child in the most horrid ways. She was given many different tests. Her sole purpose was to see how far they could push the clones. The body's absolute pain, calamity. She lived for 4 agonizing months before dying in excruciating pain of what the doctors call a heart attack. Her remains were taken to the furnace and cremated, but when the door was open, after one burnt eye and a tuft of hair still remained. Decided the subjects needed to be older to survive the nature of these experiments. They test a serum designed to rapidly accelerate the aging process on another heifer. While the subject did age, growing from a newborn to a healthy 9-year-old in the span of 1 week, the serum worked too well, and by the end of the month, she died of very unnatural causes at the physical age of 128 or 128. Realizing the aging serum worked too well, the scientists incorporated the use of a series of shots into the next heifer to keep the aging serum under safe control. The results were disappointed. The subject stopped growing at the age of 9 in 1 week, but continued to show signs of aging, including wrinkles, liver spots, brittle bones, and an increasingly effective immune system. She died of a stroke after 2 months. Scientists decided the reason the last 2 heifers died was because of their immune systems did not have time to adjust to their rapid aging, rendering them increasingly vulnerable to normally non-fatal diseases. The living conditions of the heifers were much like pig stalls, unkept, unsanitary cage with no sunlight, and only water and food IVs were nutrition. Each heifer was kept in solitary confinement, unaware that more of them were near them or even exist at all. The scientists work on the genetic code of the heifers to give them a stronger immune system. The results were very satisfactory. The girls no longer aged to death, and their new immune system fought the diseases the scientists injected into them so fast they didn't ever show signs of illness. Pleased with their work, the scientists continued adding a serum to increase the heifers' energy. The results were shocking, horrifying. The serum not only increased their energy, but their improved immune system stopped the creation of fatigue toxins in their muscles, causing them never run out of energy, unable to stop walking, running, or playing, and unable to die of exhaustion or insomnia. The children eventually went insane after several days of begging the scientists to kill them and tried to escape, forcing the security teams to infuse them with gunfire. The results were frustrating, but well within the scientists' expectations and parameters, so they decided to proceed to the next stage of the experiment: integration of body organs. Scientists operated on the heifers without anesthetic due to a toxic compound that was created when it was mixed with the serums. They implanted the organs of various animals into them in an attempt to genetically engineer something more out of them. The heifers' hyperactive immune systems often reject the new organs, and their inability to die made restraining the subjects only harder. Scientists decided to try again to create a serum that killed white blood cells. The idea was a lower white cell count meant a weaker immune system. And first, the girls' bodies would be able to accept new organs. The process was initially unsuccessful, as the girls began dying even faster than before. But the scientists managed to develop a diluted version of the serum that weakened their bodies. Just enough that they could accept their new organs. The Heifers stopping dying as frequently, but they did not exhibit any of the traits of the animals whose organs they now had. To make matters worse, scientists began to notice many malfunctions in the monitors, short circuits, and equipment. Scientists began to suspect that the Heifers had something to do with it. While surgery did not provide the results they wanted, the research gathered offered them a new avenue to explore: genetic engineering. By splicing the DNA of the Heifers who had undergone surgery, scientists were able to create a true crossbreed of human and animal. The subject had heightened senses and improved strength, speed, stamina, and many of the physical traits of the animals, like wings, flippers, scales, gills, scales, teeth, tails, fur, and ears. But suddenly the scientists noticed something was wrong. The girls who had once been unable to die were suddenly dying. The reactive immune system in the earlier Heifers were back, having only been put into a dormant state by the white cell killing serum, and other white blood cells couldn't be killed. The girls burnt themselves out until they simply dropped dead, and within a month the number of disease subjects was in the hundreds. Around this time, one of the doctors began to exhibit the signs of insomnia. He claimed his lack of sleep was caused by nightmares of subject 001. They became more and more frequent as the weeks went on. As time passed, three more doctors began to dream of subject 001. The first doctor was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and placed in an isolation cell where he spent the night screaming at the dead subject. The next morning, he seemed fine, and doctors believed he would soon make a recovery until later that night, when he woke up screaming and bashed his head repeatedly into the wall until he died of epidural hematoma caused by a consciousness. Fearing some sort of mental outbreak, the faculty was put lockdown. Armed guards were ordered to shoot anyone who tried to escape. Over the next several weeks, several scientists were insane. Several committed suicide. One who tried to escape was shot dead. A woman drowned herself in a bathtub. The head surgeon slit his throat with a scalpel after attacking another doctor with it and drinking his blood. A single scientist, a young man named Mephisto, barricaded himself in the monitor room, a fairly safe place to be until this madness could subside. He began to watch the monitors, but could only watch in horror as his colleagues descended into sanity, violence, and death. He spent his days watching the monitors and spent his nights in his office unable to sleep to the sounds of the Heifers begging him to kill them, and the fear that if he fell asleep, he too would dream of subject 001. As the bodies piled up in the Heifers died in their cages of neglect, the monitors continued to stag one by one until the day that Mephisto was the last one alive in his faculty. He looked at the last monitor and saw there was only one left, crying in the corner. She didn't seem to be touched by any of the experiments, but she was so malnourished that you could see her small rib bones along her spine. She must have been lower on the testing list. He turned around to see subject 001 next to him, her face scorched and her body burned beyond recognition. Here's what would become of him. He accepted his death. In the voice of all the Heifers that died over the course of this experiment, she pointed to the last Heifer on the monitor and said to him, "You will be spared to raise this last child. She will be called Heifer, to remind you of this day and to remind you of what you've done to her and to all of them. If she ever learns of this day, she'll die in every way. You witness here, you will not be able to look away, nor will you be able to mask her screams, as her last plea leaves her, you will die in the same way she has. Then you will go through every last test they endure before you are burned alive." That, my friends, is Heifer, a creepypasta, by Rockeye 1989. my final thoughts. I think this is actually felt like more about this. When sci when scientists play God type of stories. Like that movie Splice. Back in 2010. Yeah, that movie is pretty messed up. When the whole when sci when scientists actually play God in the wrong way. Like, yeah, I just felt like the creepiest part is the whole like every scientist is getting killed in their own ways. Well, I think it is possibly the darkest thing I have seen for a creepypasta. I have just so this is a group of people just getting killed on their own ways, except for Dr. Masavio, which, surprisingly enough, it might be connected with something in South Park but, well, it's just it's just a fanfic type of creepypasta, but I think it's actually pretty dark, sometimes, when you have to do something dark, you have to do something, don't want to go, well, too extreme with adult, edgy stuff, and yeah, I'm just looking at you, Sarah the Hedgehog, that game that try too hard to be edgy, and I'm just, I'm kind of surprised that this is, it was posted on DeviantArt, and of all places, yeah, it's just it's kind of pretty creepy that how a scientist actually kill himself after, consciousness or something. I think that's, hang on, just get my hair, just a thing. Wow, I just can't believe there's some a suicide scene, yeah, I'm just kind of wish more creepypasta have more about when scientists plays God a little too far type of stories, yeah. So that's my thoughts on this creepypasta, and I hope you enjoy it. Hope you have a pretty good day. And if you'd like to see more videos, you get to see my recent video of my reaction to Angry Birds Movie 2 first teaser, featuring a old hag villain, who has has something to do with ice powers. Yeah, I'm just pretty looking forward. And also, I just noticed it in that trailer. There's this little pig who has big eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Leonard's daughter, or his lost sister? I just wondering. There's gonna be lots of theories about who's this pig, right? Besides next to Leonard. I just want to see some theories about who's this pig next to Leonard type of theories. So yeah, I hope you have a pretty good day as always, and subscribe for more videos. So, bye bye.